Good morning. It is the first weekend in September, Labor Day weekend, and I wanted to take you through the garden today. It is looking really nice given that we're kind of at the end of the summer season. It's still warm here. We're going to have another week of 100-degree temperatures, but we've just been through a week of high 80s and low 90s, so everything's looking really fresh and happy because it's had a chance to get a little break from all the heat and the heavy sun. The rain lilies down here are blooming right now, all down the way, looking real pretty. The lavender is starting to do its second flush, and the flower box is looking really good. The potato vine has just taken over the space. Dwarf Gara, that just looks amazing. I have not made any attempts to cut back the potato vine. It has really taken over the space and probably should have been cut back, but I was really curious to see what would happen. So it's pretty much engulfed everything in the flower box at this point. The sea lavenders have done really well. This was the one that's over a year old, so it's much larger. And the other two are starting to take root and are looking pretty good. Next year, this area should look pretty amazing. The oriental dove salvias are not doing quite as well. I've had some dieback in this little area here, and I talked about that in a previous video. And behind the oriental dove is the marvel salvia, I believe, and it has not been doing very well either. There are a few things that are looking really good. The lemon coral sedum is one of them. Just gorgeous glow. I would happily add more of this to my yard. Next is the Plum Crazy Madness petunias. They have done an amazing job of blooming. I have lost a few. For example, this one right here has given up the ghost at this point, but they have bloomed amazingly well. I have not necessarily been really diligent with the budworm spray, but they've done well anyway. And I did fertilize maybe every 3 weeks. The Super Bina Sparkling Amethyst looks amazing as well. This was a good choice. I feel like these two have looked really nice flanking the pathway. And behind the petunias, the Lyrical White Salvia has also done really well. Been in bloom most of the summer and has often had quite a few bees on it. Behind the salvia are the Echinacea purpurea that I started from seed. More towards the center of the circle behind the petunias are the At Last roses, which have also looked really nice. During the peak of summer, they started to burn and die back. So I cleaned them up after the 110 plus heat ended, fertilized, watered them in real well, and they have bounced back. I see a lot of nice green foliage and some beautiful blooms on them again. My biggest disappointment is this pot. I am not sure if it just got way too hot. This is a spot that gets sun pretty much all day, and in the 110-degree heat, it just probably couldn't stay wet enough to support the plants. The wave petunias have come and gone a few times. They'll look like this for a little while and then they'll flush back. The potato vine, in comparison to the one in the big flower box, is pretty sad looking. I mean, can you see that across the yard? Those are amazing and huge, a much larger reservoir for dirt. The juniper itself didn't make it. The top ball is pretty much dead, scorched and dead, and the bottom ball is pretty much scorched and dead as well, except for one small section on the north side of the plant that is the most protected. The mini orchard is looking pretty good. I have a few persimmons still on this tree, although they are very small and probably shouldn't have any persimmons on it. I finished picking all the peaches. I did leave a couple on the tree for the birds to enjoy. and have been fighting off leaf-footed bugs on the persimmon tree here. They just keep finding their way to this plant, and I have been desperately trying to keep ahead of them. I cut back the apiarium a couple, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I am thinking about moving the Rose of Sharon here. I don't feel like I get to see the show enough, and it has these beautiful flowers. I also am not sure it gets enough sun where it is. I'm hoping maybe to move it someplace further or more into the interior of the yard so it can be enjoyed a little more. Just show a couple of quick shots of the west side of the yard. The limelight hydrangea looking gorgeous. The clematis is doing okay with its little protective bubble here, trying to keep it from getting burned. And the El Nino Catalpa has another set of blooms on it. And it's been blooming, honestly, on and off all summer. That's been amazing. One of the things that I did not anticipate when it comes to this plant is the fact that it has bloomed probably 3 or 4 times already. Behind the hydrangea are the reblooming azaleas, and I have seen random blooms throughout the summer season, which has surprised me. I only expected 2 blooms per year. They've only been on this front plant. I'm gonna end my tour here in the garden. Thank you for joining me for my little walk through what's going on in my yard right now, between the flowers kind of finishing their bloom and the things that are starting to turn and start getting ready for fall. It's been a beautiful summer. I've had a struggle as well. Thank you for joining me for my garden journey, and I will see you in the next video.